that the lawyers, with due respect to them, should have done a better job in this regard. As the Supreme Court said, if you have facts that were available before the trial started and you did not bring them into the trial court, knowing fully well that if you go to the Supreme Court is going to be a court of appeal and not a first instance. Therefore, if you intend to use any evidence in the Supreme Court, you must have ensured that such evidence must have passed through the original jurisdiction of the lower court.
A prominent Nigerian lawyer gave his thought about the judgment given by the Supreme Court yesterday. I wouldn't want to speak much about this. On Politics Today with Shehu Balogun on Channels Television, and he faulted the Labour Party lawyers as well as the PDP lawyers that they know the Supreme Court will not entertain the Chicago State University deposition in court. Now, this raised the question that I have been asking all along. What happened from December 2022 till March 2023 that the PDP never looked at the issues surrounding His Excellency, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? If Bola Ahmed Tinubu was investigated by a former notable lawyer in person of Gumu Fayami, back in the days before he lost his life along, the way, what happened? Why can't they go back and fetch some of those documents, go into investigation to know exactly what transpired that time with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Chicago State University, with all the issues surrounding him, talking about the drug trafficking, money laundering, and the forfeiture, and all the rest things that happened 30 years ago. But they all kept quiet and waited until David Hindu, brought about the issues surrounding the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and then they swing into action. And this man, Clarke, is faulting them, saying that they would have done better, that they had a chance, but then they couldn't strike because the lawyers failed them.
In any civil matter, you look at the matter relating to criminal jurisprudence. The law says you have to prove such by, not only the preponderance of evidence, but it must be based on strict proof of facts and, beyond any reasonable doubt. Now, the law is very also clear, and I was not expecting anything different tonight or today, because I am not blaming the lawyers, and that's the last thing I will always want to do. But I am sorry to say that the lawyers, with due respect to them, should have done a better job in this regard. As the Supreme Court said, if you have facts that were available before the trial started and you did not bring them into the trial court, knowing fully well that if you go to the Supreme Court is going to be a court of appeal and not a first instance. Therefore, if you intend to use any evidence in the Supreme Court, you must have ensured that such evidence must have passed through the original jurisdiction of the lower court. You will have seen from the judgment of the Supreme Court that jurisdiction played a very important role in the determination of that matter. The Supreme Court says, look, we lack jurisdiction. By law, we are an appellate court. We cannot take up a new matter that was not canvassed at the lower court. So if you did not canvass a matter at the lower court and you wanted the Supreme Court to take the matter as a fresh matter, the obstacles are there for you to meet. So the Supreme Court was very clear that we are not a court of first instance. For us to take up, we must first ensure that we have jurisdiction under the law. And they, surmised and said, look, we do not have that jurisdiction. So jurisdiction played a very important role in the determination of that motion to enable the matter to be brought before them by way of a motion.
Say that the lawyers of the opposition failed Nigerians and their boss. Can we summarize what happened within the last 2 months of litigation or 3 months of litigation after Bola Ahmed Tinubu was declared as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria back in March, where they filed the motion before the courts, to disqualify the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because of his past life. Could we say the lawyers didn't do their job properly? Is it time for blaming those who knows the law, those we call the learned colleague? What do you think about this? Let's know where to drop our, thoughtful comment at the comment section. But remember to remain always civil, because these politicians don't really care about you. Thank you for watching. Do it.